Now that we're past the threat of another storm and with the weekend in sight, we thought it was time for a little food and fun. So I called in some reinforcements, three of Boston's most powerful restaurateurs and leaders at my personal favorite local restaurants. Tiffany Faison is a Top Chef alum and the newly James Beard-nominated owner chef at Sweet Cheeks and Tiger Mama. Nice to see you, Tiffany.
Yeah.
Joanne Chang is the James Beard Award-winning co-owner of Myers & Chang and chef-owner of Flower Bakery. Hello, Joanne.
Hello.
And Anna Sortun is the James Beard Award-winning chef-owner of Oleana and Sofra Bakery and co-owner of Sarma. Anna, it's great to see you, too.
Nice to see you.
So I know what people are thinking at home. They're thinking, oh, my God, Tiffany Faison, Joanne Chang, Anna Sortun. I want to be them. Packed restaurants, celebrity chefs, unbelievable food. So let's pierce that bubble right away. I'm serious. What worries you most at work? What's the one thing that just drives you totally nuts at the restaurants?
It's a house of cards.
Meaning what?
It could fall apart tomorrow. There's so many different moving parts that we're responsible for. So that, you know, you work so hard to get to a certain level and to make people happy. And there's this, I have deep inner fear that, like, the tide will just shift one day and, like, no one comes and you're just standing there by yourself.
You're nodding in agreement. You actually have some of that?
I actually don't even know if it's deep inner fear, but it's very outward fear. And I think when I walk into the bakery or the restaurant and things aren't quite right, it just spirals. And I have a hard time, but I've gotten better, like staying calm and just saying, you know, this isn't quite right, because I go through that same thing.
How do you calm yourself?
How do I calm myself? I just know that that's not going to help if I get really upset. And I know that my job at this point is just to lead and to teach and to try to make people understand why something that seems small is actually really important.
So what do you worry about? Do you?
I'd say it's similar. I think we all have the same concerns. It's expectations. It's staying consistent, not missing a thing. And like you said, you miss a couple things, and it is a house of cards.
See, I don't worry. I do a crummy show. I just do another one the next day. No one cares.
You have a contract.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you're going to tell us in a minute what you all brought, but one of the things we're going to do is share. Is sharing the new normal? I mean, obviously, is it your place because it's a tapas kind of thing, but is sharing the not the new normal in virtually every restaurant in America now? No?
Well, I think sharing is the old normal. I mean, coming from an Asian restaurant.
Yeah, right.
Like for me, it was very unusual to have a plate of food. I never really understood that. And so for me, this whole idea of sharing food is what I grew up with.
Yeah, and with you too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we ate that way growing up. I think there's a sense of like fatigue for me with an entree that's just mine, that I just get. It's like I've had enough of it. I get tired of it really quickly, and I prefer to pick at things and share. And also, I think it helps the dining experience. We're all talking about different stuff and sharing things together. So
and did tapas initiate this? Because, I mean, it wasn't that long ago. You order an appetizer, you order a main course, and then you order a dessert, and then you waddle your way home. I mean, was it tapas that changed this? I mean, obviously, Asian food, that you're right, obviously that history is there. But for American cuisine?
Well, I think in the city of Boston, yeah, I think you saw this style of eating in tapas restaurants and Spanish restaurants. But, yeah, like Joanne said, I think this is it's very much an Eastern thing. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with you. You got to do a really quick description of what, as I'm eating it. And by the way, feel free to eat all of you. And by the way, they told me they don't hate each other; they like each other, so we can share. What is this?
This is our brisket that we smoke at Sweet Cheeks. So prime briskets, buttermilk biscuits.
Oh my God.
Tiger Mama. This is lamb stuffed roti. You've been known to have one or two of these.
Loves that thing. Yeah,
yep.
Okay.
And then Singapore street noodles also. Tiger Mama.
My mouth is full. So can you please tell us what your deal is?
So I brought Tiger's Tears from Myers & Chang, as well as Mama Chang's pork and chive dumplings. And then I'm working on a new cookbook, Pastry Love. And so this is the salted almond toffee. And then this is a spelt croissant.
Is this really?
Spelt
yeah, I just made it today.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Well, I have a bite. Is this really Mama Chang's recipe?
It is. Mama Chang's is actually here this week, and so she comes in. The first thing she does is she comes and orders an order of dumplings, and then sits there at the food bar and eats them while everybody watches her.
So with your mouth full, what'd you bring here?
With the most delicious faro croissant. That's amazing. Spelt.
So what is this stuff?
We brought a little bit of everything from Sofra today. So these are stuffed flatbreads. One's with a spicy sausage. One's with a spinach and Turkish cheese.
Yeah.
These are some whipped favas with cucumber. This is our pastry land here, where it's carrots a couple different ways. Carrot cake, candied carrot shortbread.
I can pick that up with my fingers,
Absolutely.
Right? Okay, yeah. What's this
That's
thing?
that's our signature sesame cashew bar.
It's light, too.
That one is so good.
This is a turmeric and date pastry. This is a chocolate hazelnut baklava, tahini shortbread, pistachio bird's nest. My partner, Maura at Sofer, is an amazing pastry wizard, like
Also
this one right
nominated.
here.
Everybody, I mean, it's like your chef's nominated. Everybody's nominated. Is there a big trend this year that runs across all restaurants, or is it every man and woman on their own? Is there a trend in food and restaurants in Boston now or no?
I feel like one trend, it's not food related, but it's restaurant related,
What's
is
that?
the tipping, no tipping, minimum wage. Like how do we get the disparity between front and back of house? You know, how do we eliminate that? I think it's a big thing that everybody's talking about.
Well, you do something already. What
We
do
do
you
it at both, so we do 3%. The diner can opt out of it. If there is even a moment of like the eyebrow raises, we'll take it off the check.
And what does that
immediately.
mean? Tell people what that means.
It means, so for we add 3% to the check in the same way that you would think about a tip or tax. We add it to the bottom and it goes straight to the back of the house. So it goes directly split among the back of the house. We don't touch it. It's total flow through. We actually pay higher payroll taxes because of it at the restaurant. So, but it allows our cooks and back of the house workers to have a higher basic wage.
Can we stay on a serious thing? Can you hand me that thing for a second?
Yes.
What is that thing again?
So this is a salted almond English toffee. It's made with butter and sugar.
Good for you, too.
Chocolate,
I can tell.
almonds. Yeah.
You know, you mentioned tipping. I want to put up a chart in a second. We talked last time, the two of you were here, I think. We talked about the Me Too thing and how a lot of polls of people who work in restaurants, I can't believe I'm chewing while I'm doing this. Give me 1 second. Thank you very much. Say it's worse in your industry than anywhere. Put up this number. 66%, is it coming up yet, of people who work, women who work in restaurants report harassment. I bet you it's even higher than that. But you mentioned tipping. 90% report harassment from customers. Joanne, you started this discussion. Tipping is almost an invitation to harassment when you read about these stories. How do you deal with that issue in a country that is not ready, it appears to me, to build the tip into the meal like happens in so much of Western Europe, for example? What do you do about that?
How do you deal with the harassment part?
How do you deal with the
or how do you
harassment part of it? Again, my perspective is that's why customers are seen in 90% of these circumstances because of the tip thing. It's sort of, you know, someone come over here, literally or figuratively. How do you deal with that?
I mean, I feel like you have to set a standard at your restaurant with what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. And I would hope that everybody buys into that, both the customer and the staff. I mean, we can't go around, obviously, and like listen and watch every single interaction, but I would like to think that this conversation that's happening nationwide and probably worldwide is helping to get people thinking. I mean, everybody is a mother or a father or a brother or a sister or a son. Or, I mean, we all know what is right and what's not right.
But what do you do? I'm sorry,
You
what?
have to support your service staff. You have to let them know that there is no standard of accepting that. And if someone's doing something at a table that makes them uncomfortable or in any way feels like they're being harassed, that person is going to be asked to leave our restaurant. Period.
Really?
End of story, yes.
Have you done that?
Yes.
And so, but with the Beshas and the Battalias around, I mean, the first thing is you hope you're lucky enough to work for a woman owner. But if you're not lucky enough to work for a woman owner, can you add anything to the list to assure a person who would work for you that they are going to be treated respectfully and don't have to worry about all this crap?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like Joanne said, you have to you come up with some guidelines and say this is what the culture that we create here is all about, and everybody's either on board or they're not.
I think it's also about talking about why, right? The culture exists for a reason, and why? Because the work is better. If there's no BS, if there's no harassment, and also we're all collaborating together and everyone feels safe, ultimately the work is better, the service is better, the restaurant is better.
Okay, so here's the chef's lightning round because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
What do you do best in your work? What's the thing you do best? Quickly.
Teach.
Teach, you?
Teach, inspire.
Yeah,
Really?
definitely.
Did you just say that because they said that? Or
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay, so we'll start with you on this one.
I definitely can't make pasta.
Okay, so if you could have a meal, not your last meal, it should be a meal, what is it?
It would be in Turkey somewhere, and it would probably be manti, which are amazing Turkish dumplings filled with lamb and with yogurt and butter and tomato.
Speaking of dumplings, I'll have Mama Chinese. In the meantime, what would your meal be? One meal.
One meal, I would go back to Taiwan with my parents and my husband. We just got back and just eat dumplings and food like this.
How about you?
I don't have like the elegant answer. Fried chicken sandwich, mayonnaise covered in caviar.
Perfect
Yes.
for you. Okay, and last question, lightning round. If young women watching who want to be you quickly, what's your advice?
Find a woman and work for them.
Fine. How about you?
Put your head down and work hard.
And you, Anna?
Yeah, follow your dreams.
Great. It's great to see all three of you. Love your restaurants, love your food, and you're fabulous people, too. Tiffany,
Awesome.
it's great to see
Good
you.
to see you. Thanks.
Joanne as
Awesome to
well.
see you.
Anna.
Thanks.